Hi, my name's Zoe, and today I am going to be doing a bit of a book review on a disturbing book that, yes, it went there. So, I was on Instagram the other day and I got tagged in what was quite an interesting YouTube video, which basically looks at other YouTubers' recommendations. This particular one on disturbing films. Not disturbing films, on disturbing books, and went through a couple of lists, including one of mine. Yes, agreed with a couple, disagreed with some, which, fair enough, we all have our own opinions, but I just really loved the take on this, lots of humour in there, and after having a brief email and Instagram exchange, the wonderful GC McKay, who is the owner of the YouTube channel, kindly enough sent me a copy of his book, which he said was one of the most disturbing. So obviously I had to do a review. So that book is Heather. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect. I do quite like to go into some of these books a little bit blind, which I did with this one. Also, what I really like is the back just says, if found, do not read. So super to the point. I feel like putting that on the back makes people want to read it more, which is probably the point, and what McKay was trying to do. So, like I said, I didn't really know too much about the book. I had a couple of interactions with GC McKay, who is a lovely guy, lots of humour. I like that he trolls people on YouTube, and I felt like I got trolled a little bit, but all in good humour. And so, yeah, so bit of a review of the book. So, synopsis. It's written in a diary entry, which if you haven't seen many of my other videos, you will see that I'm a big fan of narratives that are written from the diary entry. I find that they are somewhat more disturbing because you really kind of get into the mind of the fucked up person in this case, and in most of the other cases. And the opening line, I just want to read this for you because this really sets the tone for the book. So the opening line is, I work in a cafe with children who all think I'm a paedophile. Boom. You have already sealed my approval for this. Opening a book like that is quite a bold sentiment, but I love it. Like, why not go in hard when you are going into a disturbing book? I think so many disturbing books take like ages and ages to kind of get even we're near that, and you know, a lot of us, we're messed up, we're here ready to read these disturbing things. So yeah, I really like that kind of setup. We follow a guy who works in a cafe, who works with lots of younger women, and essentially he says he's not, but he is a paedophile. He meets a girl called Heather, hence the title of the book. And Heather is, I guess, the 14-year-old girl of his dreams. They start hanging out together, of course having sex together. What's quite interesting is that throughout the book it's portrayed that she is consenting to this and she wants it just as much as he does. Whilst maybe that's true, of course, we have a very unreliable narrator, and of course people that are under the age cannot consent. So there's a lot of blurred lines in this, but I think that's what makes it such an enthralling read, is that you have to kind of put your own twist on the words that you are reading, because essentially, you know, you can't trust this guy. You can't trust what he is telling you as the reader. It is pretty messed up. I'd say there's some bits that I think are maybe a little bit over the top and probably put in there just to feel really provocative. But again, you know, if you are writing a book that is meant to come across as controversial, then of course you need to put really provocative language in there, provocative scenes in there. And I found it really great to read. I really enjoyed reading it. I read it very, very quickly. It's a great piece of writing. It's not easy to read in terms of like, it's got some great language in there and it doesn't come across as written, because obviously the character that we follow, you know, he works in a coffee shop, he's clearly a paedophile. It could seem like he's kind of a bit simple, but he's not. He uses, you know, big words in there to describe different things. I think one aspect that perhaps I didn't love as much was that it talks a lot about kind of political correctness, this aspect of wokeness, and whilst I did find some of those elements quite funny and relatable, I did also in some parts feel like perhaps it was a little bit forced and a little bit too much of perhaps McKay's own personal opinion put into the character. But, you know, that's kind of regardless, because it doesn't take away from the story, and in ways it does kind of bolster the other kind of characters around him. I would say that every character in this book is pretty unlikable, which again makes it easier when certain things happen to certain characters. By the ending, it does get quite messed up, actually. Yeah, it does go there. As I said, this is a book that goes there. I wasn't entirely sure whether it was going to go as dark as it does go in the last kind of few chapters, but I'm really glad it did. Is glad the right word? Well, there we go. It does have, like I said, paedophilia, has necrophilia, has violence, it has a little bit of gore, it has very messed up thinking, psychological aspects. So yeah, I think this is a really great independent disturbing horror book which I've recently read. I'm very grateful to GC McKay for giving me the opportunity to review this one. I would probably give it about 4 stars out of 5. I think I'm knocking off a star just because of some of that wokeness, like talking around it, and also some of the aspects in there that made it for me feel a little bit forced in places and over the top. But other than that, I think it is a really, really decent book. 4 stars out of 5. I'd highly recommend you head over to Amazon, grab a copy of Heather, and also check out McKay's other books, because I know he has a few others. So I am going to go and make a purchase of those now. As always, thank you so much for watching. I am really enjoying being back on YouTube and making videos. If you have any other suggestions for any other books that you think would be great for me to add to the list, do let me know. Hit subscribe, hit like, hit download, whatever you want to do. And until next time, I will see you soon. Bye.